How do you see Trump accusing Pakistan of secretly testing nuclear weapons? Is the US not happy with its vassal state Pakistan, or is it just a public stunt? The US has accused North Korea, China, Russia also of doing the same thing. And Trump has justified his decision to restart nuclear tests by saying Pakistan, China, etc., are doing it. So is Pakistan testing nukes? Earthquakes in Pakistan after Operation Sindoor, were these nuclear tests? Okay, so the big question over here is Trump has gone ahead and said, claimed, disclosed essentially that Pakistan and China also apparently have been conducting supercritical nuclear tests. So, what is this criticality? What is subcritical? What's supercritical? So, see, in nuclear weapons, advanced designs, you have chemical explosives that set off a series of events inside the nuclear weapon that eventually culminates with the fission or fission fusion reaction that gives off the output that a nuclear device gives you, right? So the initial, the trigger is a is an explosion through chemical explosives, and then you need to have a certain geometry and all that through which the various subcritical masses, nuclear masses, they come together and set off the fission reaction that may only be a fission reaction or may set off a secondary fusion reaction, etc., etc. We'll not go into the engineering. So you can test nuclear weapons design by just igniting the chemical explosives and not having actual nuclear fuel in there. So that's a subcritical test essentially. A supercritical test is one in which the nuclear fuel ignites. You have a fission or fusion or both kind of reaction. So there's a global moratorium right now in place that no one's going to conduct nuclear tests, and as part of this moratorium, you are allowed to do subcritical tests. So Trump is saying that China and Pakistan and China are doing supercritical tests, nuclear tests, which is actual nuclear explosions, right? And he says that they drill very deep underground so that you just get some mild vibrations and so on. That's what he has been claiming. That's what he has claimed. That's what essentially he's disclosed. The US president has disclosed. See, when the president of the United States says something, you cannot take it lightly. You have to take it very seriously. So he has disclosed that Pakistan has been conducting nuclear tests, and he's also said China is doing it. Maybe even Russia, I'm not sure. So then the question is, what about those earthquakes that were detected around the time of Operation Sindoor, the 3-day war, May 7, 8, 9, 10, around that time, 8, 9, whichever the dates were. And even after that event, when the operation was paused, there have been more seismic events in Pakistan. A cluster of these happened in Balochistan, Pakistan-occupied Balochistan, and a bunch of these happened in Pakistan-occupied Punjab. So what were these things? So I went ahead, I think once I did it live on this show, and I showed you that, some of these earthquakes, their origin is about 10, 12 kilometers underground, sometimes even 100 kilometers underground. Now, the deepest hole that human beings have drilled, it's in the vicinity of like 10, 11 kilometers deep. It's very difficult to drill holes that are that deep. So does Pakistan have the engineering capability to drill 10-kilometer deep holes just for nuclear tests? I doubt it very much. Essentially, they don't have it. Then what's the deal? But Trump is claiming they have been doing nuclear tests. What's it mean? It could very well mean that this data that's available in the public domain, it's falsified data. Maybe the test happened only 500 meters down, maybe 1 kilometer down, but it is being shown as something that's 10, 12, 15, whatever kilometers down. These agencies or organizations that put out this data, they can very well falsify it. It's not the Indian government that's putting it out. It's this data essentially comes from Western agencies and organizations. So it's possible that they may be falsifying it and claiming it's 10, 12, 15 kilometers down when it's actually just maybe perhaps just half a kilometer down, maybe a kilometer down. That's possible. You can't trust all this information that's out there, all this data that's put out in the public domain. You can't trust it. You can't. I'm not saying it's all false, but some of it can be selectively falsified. Understand that. I'm sure the government of India also has its seismic detectors and whatever else is required, and I'm sure they're aware of it, but they will not go ahead. The government of India will not go ahead and disclose this in public. Trump has done it. Very good. Fantastic. So it's possible that the Pakistanis were testing some nuclear devices. It's possible. Now the question is, these nuclear devices, who owns these? Has Pakistan actually developed nuclear weapons? Or are these nuclear weapons simply devices that have been given to them on loan by somebody? I doubt very much that the Pakistani nuclear scientists have the capability to develop a full-fledged nuclear weapons program. Maybe, look, it's not that difficult actually. Okay, all you need is fissile material, uranium, a certain quantity of uranium, and I think any half decent engineer can rig up a device that will, implode two subcritical masses of uranium and make them supercritical, and you will have some kind of an explosion. So I'm sure the Pakistanis tested some nuclear devices in 1998 or whenever it was, but I'm pretty sure the devices they have today are not theirs. Maybe somebody else has given these devices on loan, most likely the United States. So if the Pakistanis were testing weapons, did the Americans give them the green light to do that? See, first of all, if these devices are American devices, then I can assure you that just like the case with the UK, the big red button does not sit in Rawalpindi or Islamabad; it sits somewhere else. So if the tests happen, maybe it's the Americans who have tested this. There's all kinds of options open. I doubt very much if Pakistan, if it does have nuclear weapons, I doubt that they have sovereignty over those. Most likely, they are just placed in Pakistani territory for counterbalancing purposes vis-a-vis India, maybe even some other country. So if Trump has made a disclosure that Pakistan has been testing nuclear weapons, we have to take it very seriously. Trump has this track record of saying all kinds of things, some of which or many of which may not be entirely correct. But in this case, we have to take him very seriously. The government of India has to take him very, very seriously. So does it mean the Americans are unhappy with Pakistan, their vassal state? Why have they accused Pakistan of doing this? And you will see that Pakistan has not responded at all to this claim by Trump, to this disclosure by Trump. See, if Trump had made a statement about India, India would have immediately gone ahead and made a public statement, either confirming or denying what Trump said. Pakistan hasn't done that. They have been quiet. What does it mean? Is the US unhappy with Pakistan? No, the US is very pleased with Pakistan. Pakistan is an obedient lapdog. Sometimes you beat up the lapdog and the lapdog still comes to you and does what you say. So it's just the US wants to restart nuclear weapons testing, so they want to take some names. See, China is the adversary. Russia is also a big adversary, but Pakistan is a loyal lapdog right now because, it's under leash. It's leashed right now. So that's why they have also thrown Pakistan, this accusation of Pakistan. Then Pakistan will just take it. Pakistan will not say a word against Trump. So that's the deal.